My next question is, my husband and I are thinking about starting a family, and we want to know the nutritional way to go.
Okay, that's a great question. People always ask me, well, when do children need to start taking vitamins and minerals? And the answer is, when they're still an egg is when you want to start them. And so we've learned in the animal industry, and remember I'm a veterinarian as well as a physician, we've learned in the animal industry that we could prevent as much as 98% of all birth defects, even ones that are thought to be genetic in humans, simply by giving the females, especially the females, all known essential nutrients for that species 6 months prior to conception. Build up that female animal's body in stores of these essential nutrients so that the embryo implants in the uterine wall and develops in an environment that has optimal amounts, guaranteed optimal amounts of all the nutrients, and you will almost eliminate the possibility of a congenital birth defect related to a mineral or vitamin or amino acid or essential fatty acid deficiency. To give you some idea of how successful this is, according to the University of California, San Francisco, right now in America, 1 out of every 33 human babies in America are born with some physical or emotional or mental birth defect. 1 out of 33. In animals, it's only 1 out of 500,000 if they're fed these commercial diets that have all the known nutrients in them. And so it's just very, very easy to understand, well, if we supplement young women and men who are in the childbearing years with these nutrients, that we'll be able to eliminate, totally eliminate cleft palates, cleft lips, spina bifida, eye defects, heart defects, hernias of various types, club feet, no feet, webbed fingers and toes, no fingers and toes, muscular dystrophy, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, cystic fibrosis. These are all preventable with proper preconception nutrition. So the earlier that a couple who wants to have normal, healthy children and have a wonderful, uncomplicated pregnancy, the earlier you can get on all 90 essential nutrients prior to conception, the better off everybody is.
Dr. Wallach, are baby formulas enough for our babies when they're born?
Unfortunately not. Our formulas that we give to dogs, whether it's kind of like science diet dog food, or the puppy or kitten milk replacers for puppies and kittens you're going to raise by hand, have 40 minerals in them, including the minerals lithium, chromium, vanadium, and selenium. Ralston Purina laboratory rat pellets contain 28 minerals, including lithium, chromium, vanadium, and selenium. There's not a single human milk replacer on the market, off the shelf of a grocery store, that has more than 12 minerals. None of them contain lithium, chromium, vanadium, and only 2, Pro-Soybean and Infamil, have selenium in them. And it's tragic that we give our dogs 40 minerals and our rats 28 and our kids 12 or less. You can begin to see why we spent $1.2 trillion for health care last year. You begin to see why we only live to be 75.5, half of our genetic potential for longevity of 120 to 140, why we only rank 17th in longevity and 19th in healthiness, simply because we don't get the basic raw materials to develop properly and maintain and repair ourselves from the very beginning. I'll give you a tragic example. Sudden infant death syndrome is something that everybody is familiar with. We eliminated sudden infant death syndrome in animals back in the 1950s because farmers can't afford to lose 2 or 3 or 5 or 10% of the baby animals they're raising to sudden infant death syndrome, and we learned that it was due to a deficiency of the trace mineral selenium, causing sudden death in the most robust, the healthiest of the baby animals in the group or the herd or the flock. And we eliminate it simply by giving the pregnant mothers selenium, and as soon as the baby is born or hatched, they get selenium. And if you look at the human infant milk replacers on the market, only 2 of all of them put selenium in the formula. And so if I was going to raise a child today on these infant milk replacers, these infant milk formulas in a can, or a bottle or a box, I would pick the 2, Pro-Soybean and Infamil, that have selenium in them. And to stack things in favor of the child, I would still give them, from the moment they're born, a teaspoon for 20 pounds of body weight of the pig arthritis formula twice a day. Obviously, you may not want to use the orange juice in a newborn baby because they can develop allergies to it, but I would still give them the plant-derived colloidal and the chelated minerals and vitamins and amino acids. And the tragic example of this is 65%, this is a known fact, 65% of all the babies dying of sudden infant death syndrome in America are being fed canned milk replacers. 2/3 of the ones who die of sudden infant death syndrome are being fed these canned infant formulas. And I guarantee you, they're being fed the ones that don't have selenium in them. And so, absolutely, it's important to supplement these babies from birth because you can't get everything you need from your 4 food groups, certainly not out of these canned formulas.
Great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.